Good day to all. I am Shivani and today I will be discussing on the topic Journal Finder tools. So let's get started. Journal Finder. What do you think it's all about? A journal finder is a tool that connects full text journal material, which includes newspapers, magazines, in a databases by searching using the title of publication in which they appear. As we know, authors for authors choosing the right magazine to publish scholarly research papers is as important as doing the research. So it is because only the correct journal will help you for your intended audience, where the hard work of researchers will be appropriately recognized and utilized by the other researchers. So, the research journal research tools like reference search in a databases requires the author to provide a keyword or abstract. Many of these tools are developed by publishers and organizations. These tools, journal metrics, help authors to choose high-ranking, reputable journals to submit their research papers. If the journal's locating tool does not provide any journal metrics, then the researcher can use the Scopus or Journal Citation Reports databases to discover the top ranked journals. So, how to use a journal finding tools? Here are some 4 points listed out. Review the overview and aims and scope of the journal to check whether it matches with the research paper or not. Second, read the instructions to author to recheck whether the research paper is written as per the instructions to avoid rejections. Read the articles in the journals to find out whether they match the research paper's scope and also the editor's preferences. And the last, check the author compliance tool of the journal finder to meet the institution's or funder's requirement. These are the 4 points that you need to be keep in your mind while using a journal finding tools. Points to remember in selecting the journal for publication. So here are some points given to be remembered while you are selecting your journal for the publication. First is the quality. You should know about the quality of the journal, which includes how you can identify is the impact factor of the journal, the journal's ranking, and whether the journal is peer reviewed or not. Second aspect is the discoverability, which includes whether the journal is indexed in Scopus and Web of Science and how easy it is for others to locate the articles in the journal. Third includes the relevance, where whether the potential and targeted audience for your publication, that is, who will read the article or cite the work, are available. Does the journal match the scope of the publication? This is the most important aspect where the researcher and the student should be aware of and try to match it before giving article for the publication. That if you have written the article in some medical science and you are giving it for the electronic purpose of journal, then it will go wrong and mismatch your articles or the publication. So you must know whether the scope you are or you have written your article on is matching with the scope of the journal. Next is the accessibility, that is open access publishing option is given or not. whether the journal is freely available or is it costing for the publishing. The author's guideline on the journal's website. All the authors and researchers should know about or read out the guidelines that are mentioned on the journal's website and read carefully with all the conditions provided by them for the publication. Next is whether the publisher provides a unique digital identifier or DOI. This is the identification number given to the article and the publication you try to submit in any of the journals. So whether they are providing this unique number or not, because this number is a identification number for your article. When you try to search online or in any databases and you try to give your DOI, it will automatically search for your article from all the databases it's going to search or available on this internet. So this helps to identify the particular article of the particular author. So next is the verify the frequency of the publications. This is also the important aspect the authors must know. The whether the publication you are selecting for your giving articles and letting it publish is bi-monthly, quarterly, or twice a year. So you should be aware of these points before you are trying to select any journal for the publication. As you have finished your writing research manuscript, you ought to choose a suitable target journal to submit your paper. But since you are unsure which journal would be the best fit for your work and will you be able to choose the right one, you typically end in selecting the wrong journals. So as there are numerous number of scholarly journals available, it's hard to find to shortlist the possible reputed journals for the research paper. So here are some academic research tools available to help you out to select the best suited journals, and some are here as follows. You also know by the name of journal finder tools, which includes Jane, Elsewhere Finder, Springer journals, Jesters, etc. So the first one which I am taking up is the Jane, that is the Journal Author Name Estimator. This is the service originated in the Netherlands. It is limited to the journals included in Medline, a database published by the US National Library of Medicine. It is basically limited to the biomedical science journals, and here you can compare your research article's title or the abstract with the millions of others in the PubMed. The second one is the Elsewhere Journal Finder. It helps you to find elsewhere journals that could be best suited for your publishing your scientific article. The Journal Finder uses smart search technology and field of search specific vocabularies to match your article to elsewhere journals. Elsewhere is one of the largest publishers of peer-reviewed journals in all the disciplines. Third is the Springer Journal Suggester. Here, the use of Springer Journal Selector to search for all Springer and Biomed Central journals to find the journal for your manuscript. Researchers can search over 2,500 journals, Springer and Biomed Central available. Easily compares the relevant journal to find the best place for your publication. The next is the EndNote match. It says find the best fit journal for your manuscript. So with a few key pieces of information like your title, abstracts, or your references, EndNotes helps to match your or to find the right journal for your manuscript. For identifying, we may wish to submit our manuscript to identify the most relevant and impactful journal. Manuscript Matcher uses the data from the Web of Science and the Journal Citation Reports, that is JCR. Next is the Journal Guide. Journal Guide is a free, handy tool that lets you evaluate the scholarly journals. The author's resource free tools was created by a group of former researchers and software programmers. So the main objective of this tool is to assist researchers in publishing more quickly by helping them to select the appropriate journal. Besides this, it's a comprehensive feature for searching, sorting, filtering, and comparing scholarly papers. So yeah, here's it comes with the advanced features where you can search, sort, filter, and compare your scholarly papers. Next is the cofactor journal selector. This service originated in the UK, established for 2 years with over 50 freelance editors. This one offers option menu to find the journal that matches your requirement and finds the publication by subject, peer review, open access, speed or review acceptance, and other factors. Mostly used by STEM publications. The next one is Edna's Journal Selector. Edna's is a Hong Kong-based company. Edna's provides fees-based services to the authors, such as copy editing and letter writing. The tool helps researchers to publish in international journals. Once you insert a description or you can say abstract of your paper, the the tool finds possible journal that you have published relevant articles or you wish to publish, and you can search by keywords, the field of the study, journal name or publisher, or by abstract also, in over 28,652 journals. So it provides a wide range to find out your um, journal to get your article published. Next comes here is the Publish and Flourish Open Access. Publish and Flourish Open Access is a web application and API enabling users to discover relevant and reputable open access publications to maximize publishing impact. It empowers you to identify credible open access journals that fits for your publication needs. It has come up with the objective of this project is to provide the access community with the tools they need to separate legitimate open access publications from unethical and potential predatory publishers. So it is basically for the designed for the open access publications. Now here comes about the principles of transparency and the best practice in scholarly publications. As we all know, there are some scholarly communities set up. So these are the next follow-up is the principles that has been come up by the four main societies. So let's see. Let's talk about the scholarly organizations. COPE, that is the Committee on Publication Ethics, DOAJ, Directory of Open Access Journal, OSPA, the Open Access Scholarly Publishers Association, and the WAME, that is the World Association of Medical Editors. are among the scholarly organizations that have experienced an increase in the number of membership applications as a wide range of quality. So, what are basically these organizations and what they have set up for? So, we'll discuss on this. So, let's see what it involves in it. So, first one is the COPE. The COPE advises editors on all elements of publishing ethics, where including how to deal with the situation of the research and publication misconduct. It basically advises the or you can say it has provided some kinds of guidelines or the points to be noted down by all the researchers and the publishers. It also provides a discussion area for members to debate on specific instances. COPE does not look into individual models, but it encourages editors to ensure that cases are looked into by relevant authorities. So, COPE members are expected to follow the publication ethics principles established in the core practices. So, these whosoever is the member of the COPE are expected to follow the publication ethics principles established by the core practices. The second scholarly organization is the DOAJ, that is Directory of Open Access Journal. It has been set up with a mission to curate, maintain, and develop a web-based source of reliable information about open access scholarly journals. To verify that entries on the list meet reasonable standards, to increase the visibility, dissemination, discoverability, and appeal of open access journals, to enable scholars, libraries, universities, research funders, and the stakeholders to benefit from the information and services provided, and to facilitate the integration of information and services, and to promote the transition of the scholarly communication and publishing system into a paradigm that supports science, higher education, industry, innovation, society, and the people wherever possible. DOAJ will work with all the interested parties to achieve these goals through this effort. The third one comes up as OSPA, Open Access Scholarly Publishers Association. Does it serve and what does its aim is to? So it's a trade group funded in 2008 to serve the interest of open access in all the disciplines worldwide. So it was set up to seek and assure prosperous and sustainable future for its members and scholarly communities to serve by fostering their collaborations in developing appropriate financial models, tools, standards to support open access publishing. So it is totally dedicated to the open access publications. So the fourth one is the WAME, that is World Association of Medical Editors. WAME is a global non-profit voluntary association of editors of peer-reviewed medical journals. So it is basically dedicated for the medical journals. This society aims to improve the editorial standards, pro promote professionalism in medical editing through its education, self criticism, and self-regulation, and encourage research on principles and practices of medical editing. So WAME creates policies, guidelines for dedicated only to the medical journal editors. and syllabus that members are expected to follow, and it look after with that all the related members or whosoever is the member of WAME follows all the expected guidelines and policies so created for helping the peer-reviewed medical journals. Now here comes some principles of transparency. So the first one is the name of the journal. The journal's name must be distinct and not easily confused with the name of another journal, or cause potential authors and readers to mislead about the journal's origins or affiliations. Second is the website. So a journal's website, including the text it carries, must demonstrate that high ethical and professional standards were followed. So it must not contain any information that could mislead the readers, authors, such as an attempt to imitate the website of another magazine or publishers. Aim and scope statements should be provided on the website, as well as clear definition of the readership. Authorship requirements, for example, not considering repeated submissions or redundant publications, should be expressed in a statement on what a journal would consider for publishing. ISSN should be presented prominently. That is separate for the print version and for the electronic version. Ownership and management. Information regarding a journal's ownership or management must be displayed on its website. Publishers must not use names for organizations or journals that could mislead the potential editors or the writers. The fourth point to be have transparency is peer review process. The content of the journals must be clearly labeled as peer reviewed or not. You must see on it. Peer review is the process on seeking experts' input on individual articles from reviewers who are not the members of the journal's editorial team. This methodology or any policies relating to the journal's peer review method must be published in detail on the journal's website, including the peer review method employed. So, manuscripts acceptance or rapid peer review should not be guaranteed on journal's website. Fifth one is the governing body. Editorial boards or the other bodies of journals must include people who are recognized experts in the topic areas covered by the publication. The journal's website's full name and affiliations of editorial board or the governing body must be listed. Sixth is the editorial team and the contact information. On the journal's website, it must include the full names and the affiliations, as well as the contact information for the editorial office, including its complete address to be reached. The seventh it says copyrights and licensing. The copyright policy must be specified explicitly in the author's rule, and the copyright holders must be identified in all published publications. Similarly, website rule must clearly explain the licensing information, and the terms of licensing must be indicated on all printed items, including HTML and PDFs. Any special licensing restrictions must be stated if writers are permitted to publish under a common creative license. Any policies regarding posting final acceptable version, or you can say published article, to the third party repositories must also be specified. Next is the author's fees. Any fees or charges for the manuscript or the processing in the journal must be clearly posted and stated where the potential authors can easily find them before submitting their manuscripts, before they begin preparing their manuscripts for submission. If there is no such fees, then it should also be indicated. The other point is process for identification of and dealing with allegations of research misconduct. This is also the important thing to be in that they have included in the principles of transparency. Uh, so what it says, publishers and editors must take reasonable steps to detect and prevent publications containing research misconduct such as plagiarism, citation manipulation, and data falsification or fabrication. A journal or its editors must never promote or, or allow such malpractices. Suppose the publishers or the editors are aware of any claim of research misconduct relating to published article in their journal. In that case, they must follow Cope's rules dealing with the allegations. The next point is the publication ethics. A journal must have publication ethic policies. These should be prominently displayed on the journal's website and should cover the topics like journal's policy on contribution and authorship, how the journal will handle complaints and appeals, journal policies of conflicts of interest, journal policies on data sharing and reproducibility, journals policies on ethical oversight, journal policies on intellectual property, journals options for post-publication discussions and corrections. So such kinds of uh, policies should be there on the website of the journal and it must be clearly stated. Publishing schedule where it will specify the frequency with which the journal publishes should also be stated. Access methods where the readers can access the journals and individual articles should be stated. And the associated subscriptions or the pay per view also must be stated. Archiving, if the journal is no longer published, the journal's plan for electronic backups and preservations of excess of the journal content must be clearly stated. The next is the revenue sources. If the author fees, subscriptions, advertisements, institutional fundings, models or revenue sources that should be explicitly disclosed and visible on the websites. Advertisement, where if applicable, journals must describe their advertising policies, including what type of advertisements will be accepted and who makes the choice about the advertising acceptance and related information. Advertisements should be kept distinct from the published material and have no impact on the editorial decisions. Direct marketing, where any direct marketing operations done on behalf of the journal, including the manuscript solicitation, must be suitable, properly focused, and for readers and authors, the information must be provided about the publishers and the journals intended to be accurate and not misleading. So, suppose a member organization has broken these best practices or specific organization standards. In that case, OSPA, DOJ, COPE, WAME will first strive to work with them to remedy any issues highlighted, and if the members organization is unable or unwilling to resolve these concerns, then the organization's membership may be suspended or cancelled. Concerns concerning members can be addressed through OSPA, DOJ, COPE, and FAME protocols. Now, here comes the trends and developments in open access. So, the trends and development in open access. Coalition S. This is a declaration of commitment by public research funders. On September 4, 2018, a consortium of national research funding bodies announced the beginning of Coalition S. This is an initiative to make full and instant open access to research publications a reality, with the assistance of European Commission and the European Research Council, that is ERC. So the plan S, which consists of one aim and 10 principles, serves as the foundation. With effect from 2021, all scholarly publications on the results from research funded by public or private grants provided by national, regional or international research councils and bodies must be published in open access journals on open access platforms and made immediately available through open access repositories without embargo period. Now here comes the Plan S. Plan S is an initiative for open access publishing that was launched in 2018. This plan is supported by the Coalition S, which is an international consortium for research funding and performing organizations. So this plan uh, requires that scientific publications that results from the research funded by public grants must be published in a compliant open access journals or the platforms. So all the research work that has been funded by the public grants, it should be made immediately available to the public through open access platforms and the journals. So what does the points it includes? It says that access must be immediate, non-allowable embargo periods. Authors must retain their copyrights and the articles must carry open access licenses, that is called by using common creative licenses. CC BY, that is attribution, one which is preferably used. Next is the publication fee should be covered by the funders and the universities and not only the individual researchers. Such publications fee should be standardized and kept. Universities, research organizations or libraries should align their policies and strategies. Hybrid journals are not considered an allowable venue for the publication. So hybrid journals should not be entertained while when you are following Plan S to publish your open access articles. Funders will monitor compliance and sanction non-compliance. So here comes the consortium UGC CARE, which you are aware of, Consortium for Academic and Research Ethics. So it has been established